go.
Alrighty, guys.
Welcome to the Deadset show. Second attempt. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about? There wasn't a second attempt.
I have no idea what you're saying.
I didn't see anything.
What are you talking about? This is episode 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, couple rules quickly. Welcome to the Deadset show. We are your hosts, Jax and
Duffy's.
We try to sort out some difficult matters in the earth right now, such as politics,
religion,
things like that. The ideas and opinions of the hosts and commenters of the show do not directly represent the opinions of the and ideas of the Deadset show itself.
You got it. Got it.
Couple quick shout outs. Shout out to
Copacabana Sellers. Thank you, Simon.
Drink responsibly.
Yep, Jesus did. We always say that. Well, I do, but
and this is a preferred 18 or above stream, or please, have adult supervision. I will curse.
And I'm getting better at that. I've got my swear jar, and there's some clinking.
He's getting there. So because Duffy's is our resident good boy Christian goody two shoes, for every $1 that goes in that jar, we'll be sending that to something that he despises, just to give him incentive to stop.
Yeah.
I will not.
No, that's totally fair. The world is your oyster, man.
I will not.
I can't. Yeah.
We thought we'd have a look at some big things happening this week in the world of interviews. Obviously, some of you might have seen we have Piers Morgan interviewed Nick Fuentes. He's back. He's unbanned.
He's probably one of the most popular type of people right now.
The most popular virgin on planet Earth.
He is. The most popular
virgin on planet Earth.
Good on him, man. Honestly, hold on to that seed, brother.
Go far, you fucking.
Good on ya.
Yeah. Yeah, so we thought we'd get into it and do a little bit.
Are you having a stroke?
No, I just am retarded.
I smell toast and it's burnt.
Oh yeah, no, that's probably me.
That is probably
that's probably me because I'm so retarded I burnt the toast. Yeah, we thought we'd do a little bit of a review, suss it out, have a look at how they communicate with each other, whether or not their communication is actually getting to somewhere good, or are they just people with agendas taking the piss out of each other and trying to push their own thing.
I like to have my little predictions. I haven't really watched much of this at all because I wanted to sort of have a raw reaction for this episode. Look, Nick Fuentes will say some outrageous stuff sometimes, but generally I rate him. I rate Piers Morgan too. Obviously, there's things that disagree about in certain areas, but I rate them both.
I've not seen Nick Fuentes in anything. What I know about him is that he was banned for a while. What I know about him is the hate against him is supposedly he's anti-Semitic.
So I've heard. Yeah.
I know that he's a virgin. I haven't seen much else. I think maybe I've seen like a couple of quick clips recently, like you're doing the old doom scroll.
Yeah. That's exactly what I've
sort of had. But nothing that I've actually stopped and properly paid attention to get an idea about him. So this will sort of be my first time really
getting to know what this guy's all about.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't really have an opinion on him yet.
Well, before we get into it, let's read some of the comments. We've got Jack and Davey. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for letting us know that our sound was terrible before the stream.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, no, it didn't happen. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Well, let's play this off cool, right?
Absolutely perfect.
But what is it? Davey said I get my own warning. Make some rich lesbians. Yes, absolutely. That's what my swear jar will be doing. We'll be making some rich lesbians. And we'll be like... hope you find a cure soon, like Millie Bobby Brown supposedly said, which didn't happen, but that was pretty funny. There it is. Lol, the trans are getting some dollars up. Yeah. Cash money. It's coming straight out of my pocket to yours, and it will help you cut your phallus off. Anyway, Piers Morgan just pulling up clips whilst Nick just claims he said what he said.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what
I'm guessing.
See,
yeah, that's what Davey said. Yeah.
See, this is what my first prediction was instantly just going to be like. I think it's going to be Nick. I think it's going to be Piers Morgan doing what he always does, which is really just taking pieces of what someone said and then questioning them on them deeply, which is almost kind of stupid because what I've seen him do a few times is he's the type to like if he could interview Charlie Kirk, what he would do is take the clip of Charlie Kirk being like, well, if I seen, you know, if I then went
like
to
a
get in a
black
plane, if I
pilot or
seen a black
something.
pilot, I'd be
Right.
quite concerned about my
Yeah.
own safety. He'd take the clip and be like, "Are you racist?" And you'd be like, "Oh, okay, just show the full clip, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
What's the point?"
Piers Morgan's,
What's the point?
that's his spiel. That's his.
He's good at that, but I don't mind that he does try to dig deeper. Like I don't mind if he's like, I don't have time to go do all this shit. I'd rather just ask you face to face. If that's honestly what it is, cool, whatever, bang, good on you. But you're a little bit silly.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you there, Jax. Honestly, I'm very much the same.
Yeah, I think it's good. Like you're seeking truth, whatever, rah. But I feel like half the time your answers could have already been like found out yourself. You'd already know. I feel like but that is your career. You're making a career. Like you're a journalist. You like to have a
you got to
a second
poke the bear a bit.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's good. So
Yeah.
we'll see how he does anyway. I'd like to see if this guy's being claimed as anti-Semitic. Apparently, he hates Jews. All the like that's a pretty hefty claim. Like that's a pretty hefty claim because like we all know we've grown up in school and it's always been like the worst thing you could possibly be or be called or look like is Hitler.
Yeah, I know. That's like the antagonist of antagonists. Right?
Yeah, that's
you've got Satan,
that's the antagonist of the
you've
world
got Satan,
story.
And then you've got like Hitler as his.
Oh, dude, how many times have you seen like Hitler and like Satan in the same
South Park or something?
South Park or Family Guy clip? Or
yeah, right.
They just like right on fucking bounds with each other. So
literally, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, we got a first-time chatter here, Sandra Xdena1. Hello, mate. You stream pretty cool, and that's why I followed. I would love to be a fan of yours if you don't mind adding me on Discord.
We do have a Discord. We'll send you an invite. We'll sort that out.
Yeah, we have a Discord. Yeah,
stream something when we can fucking be bothered to.
Yeah, it's very bare bones the Discord at the moment, but we are.
Yeah,
we're improving. We're improving. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
We're about 6-7 weeks old.
Yeah.
I'm only a baby.
Yeah, we are babies in terms of the streaming.
Yeah, sort of.
Online space.
But in terms of dog years, we could kill a baby. That's awful. Oh. That is awful.
Oh man.
No, I say that because I don't be responsible dog owners.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Have that. Be that. Get that up, yeah.
All right. Well, should we?
Yeah, let's have a look. I'd like to see.
Tune in?
Yeah, let's see what we can figure out about this.
Let's have a feel on it, eh? Let's have a look. Video review. Doers. Piers Morgan uncensored. Oh, look at this. I'm frozen.
Mwah.
I'm frozen.
He's frozen.
I'm frozen. I'm frozen in time. We're gonna change that. Oh, hello. I'm not frozen. And Jax is there. Cool. We're ready to go. Ready to go. All right. Let's have a look-see, eh?
Whether you're a New York Times reader, an NPR fan, a Daily Wire subscriber, or an avid consumer of all things Tucker Carlson, for several months now there's been no avoiding the subject of Nick Fuentes. And let's be clear, the main reason you're hearing about him is because he's popular. A large number of people, especially young men, are interested in what he has to say. What that says about our society and our culture is the subject of ferocious debate. For many people, it's a grave indictment of an insidious immorality. For others, he's a product of a culture which has turned on its own and left many young people feeling listless and bitter. He's either a litmus test for right-wing hypocrisy on free speech or a walking, talking manifestation of where the line should be drawn. And a frankly preposterous amount of airtime has been spent on debating everything from his ideology to his sexuality and whether anyone should actually talk to him at all.
If I were writing a glossary entry on the Streisand effect, I wouldn't put a picture of her next to it. I would put a picture of Nick Fuentes.
They have opted to not do so when it comes to Nazis like Nick Fuentes.
Fuentes takes this guy apart brick by brick. It's a full takedown.
My concern is that people who are a bit more moderate are deeply alarmed by Nick Fuentes.
I was very happy to see that, like, Nick Fuentes really passed that test with flying colors.
That fragmentation is being caused purposefully by a splinter faction of people led by a young man named Nick Fuentes.
That's the war. Can you get the beef prices down? Not crazy things that Nick Fuentes or these other loons say on social media.
Well, it looks like all the screaming about Nick Fuentes on the internet is finally dying down a little bit.
Oh.
This game. You're not ready for it.
I bet he looks like a fish.
So now we had on this guy, this Fuentes guy, and never challenged him.
You should have Nick Fuentes on your show, and you could ask him questions about that.
The truth is, it doesn't make a lot of sense to spend all this time talking about Nick Fuentes, but not actually to Nick Fuentes. People who say you shouldn't give him a platform overlook the very obvious fact that he already has a platform of his own, which is often bigger than most of the people complaining, and he uses it to speak unchallenged to his many followers. It's on that basis that I've invited him to appear live and uncensored on my platform, and Nick Fuentes joins me now. Nick Fuentes, welcome to Uncensored.
Hi, great to be with you.
I don't know you. I don't think we've ever met. You can correct me if that's wrong. I know about you.
I don't know you.
I know that increasingly people are talking about you in a more mainstream environment than you may be used to. So for those who know nothing about Nick Fuentes, I want this to be an opportunity to get to the real person. I don't know who that person is, but I do want to use this opportunity to get there. I've seen you talk, as we prepared for this, in exchanges with people and on your show, saying you fear it's going to be very hostile, it's going to be an ambush, all those kind of things. I don't intend it to be overtly hostile. I don't intend to ambush you. I intend it to be an examination of what you said on the record, an examination of what you believe or what you say you believe, and an examination of what your rising popularity says about the state of the conservative movement in America. So those are my goals from this interview. What are your goals? Why are you doing it?
I thought it'd be interesting. And, you know, you've talked a lot about me on your show over the years, and this is the first time you actually extended the invitation. I think it might be the second, actually. I think we talked about doing it during A24 a few years ago, but you've talked a lot about me with the panel, and now you've extended the invitation to talk to me. And I think it'd be interesting for me to maybe clarify some positions and maybe get to know you a little better as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
There is a belief that you have two personas. There's one that you roll out now for podcasts and for shows like mine, where you come across as reasonable. And then there's your show on Rumble, where you often come across as having, you know, a very unreasonable view on things. This is what Coleman Hughes said about you.
Nick Fuentes knows exactly what he's doing. He is consciously playing this double game as part of a long-term strategy to become popular enough to take the reins of power, at which point he plans to pivot towards the extreme and unpopular policies that he advocates daily on Rumble.
So first of all, what is your response to that?
Well, first of all, I would say that Coleman Hughes is a propagandist. He works for the Free Press, which is run by Barry Weiss. So I think you have to consider the source. And Barry Weiss is a pro-Israel partisan. Free Press is just bought out by CBS for $150 million by Larry Ellison or his son, David Ellison. And so I think that's coming from a particular point of view. We can't pretend like that's coming from a vacuum or from some fixed position. That's coming from a propaganda outlet that's in favor of Israel. That's first. But second, I would say he is right about the two personas. And I think that everybody understands this on some level. On my show, I make jokes and I use rhetoric and I'm hyperbolic because for a long time, I had an audience that was small on these like dissident platforms. I was on D Live for many years. A lot of people don't even know what that is. And so I had a small following and we had sort of like an in-group sense of humor and memes and things like that. And you talk about it one way on a freewheeling live stream when I'm by myself and I'm ranting and we make jokes and we play devil's advocate, we play with different positions. But then when you sit down in an interview like this one and people ask me a good faith question, what do you actually believe? Well, then I clarify and I say, well, here I'm not joking. Here I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not being rhetorical. I'll tell you precisely what I believe. As far as this idea that I'm going to get power and then turn into Hitler, that just sounds totally insane to me. I'll be honest. It just sounds insane.
Do you have aspirations for political power?
Not really. I think that if I wanted to run for office, I wouldn't say a lot of the things that I say. I don't know that a lot of people would vote for me. I tend to offend everybody, even a lot of people that like me. So no, I'm a truth teller. I like to tell the truth. I like to do my live stream.
Who is Nick Fuentes? Tell me about your upbringing. I know you grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. Tell me about your early years.
Or early how? Like my childhood or a little bit later?
Yeah, your childhood, yeah.
Well, I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago in LaGrange Park, as you say. My parents are ethnics. My father's half Mexican, half Irish. My mother's Italian. And they both came from a pretty rough upbringing themselves. They both were raised by single mothers, not because of divorce, but because both of their fathers had died. They endured a lot of dysfunction. And I think that's one of the reasons they came together and they related to each other and they wanted to create a normal upbringing for their children. They wanted to have a normal family life. And so they moved out to LaGrange Park away from the city. And they raised me and my sister and really put us first. I think that's a big reason why I tend to have a lot of these family values or Christian values. My mother quit her job and stayed at home to raise us. And so I have a very close relationship with my parents, with my sister. We're a very tight family. And we grew up in a pretty idyllic town. And maybe we can sort of get into a conversation about politics from this. I loved my upbringing. My mom stayed at home. My dad was working. We're in a mostly white suburb in Chicago. I was maybe half Catholic, half Protestant. It was a baseball town. I played baseball for many years. In Chicago, we love our hot dogs. We have our baseball parade and get a hot dog. And so I love where I came from. I love the city. It's a working class city. I love the people here. They're very good, humble, down to earth, decent people. And I guess I had my political, not to jump ahead, but this is a big part of where my political awakening came from. I sort of left this bubble, if you could call it that. When I went to college in 2016, I went to Boston University. And I read a lot of things online, and I realized the country does not look like LaGrange Park. It doesn't look like Western Springs or Hinsdale or Elmhurst. It looks very different. The country's undergoing a radical transformation because of immigration. And so I saw that, and I said, this is not really a desirable change. I don't like the south side of Chicago or the west side or LA or certain parts of Boston as much as I like where I came from. And I guess that's what made me an American nationalist. I said, I want to preserve my home and the things that are familiar to me and the things I like about my home, what makes it America. So that's a little bit about my background. I don't know where you want to go with that, but that's kind of where I came from.
My first obvious question is, were your parents immigrants to the United States, or were their parents, or were their grandparents? In other words, at some stage, I presume, there were immigrants in your family who came to the US. Is that correct?
There were. I believe my mother was fourth generation and my father was third generation. So their ancestors came here on my mom's side in the 1860s, I believe, the first wave of Italian immigration. My father's ancestors, I think they came around in the turn of the century in 1900.
So your view of immigration, and we'll get to the specifics about your views on immigration, are they not affected at all by the fact that if it wasn't for immigration, you wouldn't exist as an American?
Well, I would certainly exist, but like you said, maybe not as an American. Certainly that's influenced in some measure. But I think that the kind of immigration that we had for a long time in the country, it's different than the immigration that we have now. And let's just say for openers, it's different immigrants. They're coming from a different place with a different culture, a different religion. It's not the same as it was. So first, you have a qualitative difference. My ancestors, for the most part, I have 3 European grandparents from Ireland and Italy, 1 from Mexico. They came from Europe. They came from a society where there's a common ancestry, there's a common religion, common civilization. The people that have come in since 65, since Hart-Celler, they're coming from China, India, the Northern Triangle, Mexico, Venezuela. And so first, they're just different people. Secondly, it's a quantitative difference. There's way more, and it's an unceasing, always increasing wave. For the first 3 or 4 waves of immigration, you would have a major influx of immigrants, and then it would stop. And then you'd have another wave, and then it would stop. This one, it just keeps going up for 35 years, and it's too many. So that's really where I would draw the distinction between maybe where I originate from. I would even just simply call that immigration. What this is an invasion. It's a completely different policy.
But you mentioned,
can't even call it the same thing.
But you mentioned Mexico in that list, and your father is half Mexican. So,
yeah,
I mean, by your criteria, part of the invasion would include your father, presumably, and his immediate descendants who came from Mexico.
Not really true, because when my father's ancestors came here, it was a small fraction of the total immigrants that came from Mexico. I don't believe that we should have zero immigrants forever, or even zero immigrants from non-white countries. But you have to draw the distinction. My father's father, he was here in the 40s and 50s. It was his parents, or I believe either his parents or grandparents, that came here even earlier. Up until 1965, 90% of the immigrants were coming from Europe. I have no problem with that. If we have 10% of them coming from Mexico or Latin America, maybe that's reasonable, but that's not what it is now. Now you've got 10 million illegals in 4 years under Joe Biden, and you got millions more legal immigrants from China, India, Venezuela, El Salvador, and it's so many with no break for assimilation, and they're all from non-white countries. It's transforming what America is. And again, that's the distinction. That's what makes it unacceptable.
I always believe everybody's a product of their environment. Right? I've interviewed thousands of people. Maybe 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people from all different walks of life. But the one common theme I would say is everyone's a product of their environment. And I was reading some stuff about you in the last few days. There was an episode of your podcast where you talked about your father, Bill Fuentes, and how he wouldn't take the family, including you, to certain restaurants because he believed they were associated with African Americans. We would be deciding where to go to eat, you said. What are we going to do for dinner tonight? It was a running joke. Me and my sister would say Applebee's, and my dad would say we would never eat at Applebee's. Not in a million years should you be caught dead, Fuentes said about Applebee's. Go to a different restaurant, a local restaurant. No Applebee's, no Red Lobster. That is commonly known as black fare. And you also shared another story about your family and restaurants. Said, before me and my sister were born, my family had a saying about Olive Garden that contains the N-word that we're not allowed to say. So my question, based on that anecdote that you say on your own podcast, is do you think you grew up in a racist environment, that your father was inherently racist, and that thought process moved to you?
Well, I would say it's a new low. I've been attacked for being a racist many times, but to attack my father, to attack my parents based on anecdotes, I would say that's sort of a new low.
Hang on, it's your anecdote.
Yeah, but he's not here to defend himself.
You are.
And my parents are.
You told the story.
And I will, and I'll
I'm
defend
not trying
them.
to ambush you. As I said at the start, Nick, to be clear.
No, it's not an ambush,
Nick,
but
to be clear,
I think
I'm
everybody
not
understands.
ambushing you. I'm literally reading an anecdote that you revealed on your podcast. It's you that's put it in the public domain.
I know.
I'm simply asking you whether my assessment of that, which is that your father didn't want to take you to certain restaurants because of what you refer to as, they were commonly known as black fare, whether that attitude to African Americans in that instance permeated to you. It's a reasonable question.
Yeah, no, like I said, I think everybody knows what that is, but I'll address it. I'll engage with it, and I'll defend my father from the charge of racism.
Sure.
No, my parents are not racist, and they've never been racist. I'll tell you about.
Do you reckon he did anything wrong there? I don't think he did. But like by pulling up that story, like I think him being like saying that Piers is attacking his father, I don't think he is at all. I think that's just a very reasonable.
Yeah, it's a question. Like
get to the bottom of what you said on your podcast. Like you said, your dad said this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't need to go to your dad's not a public figure. Like
yeah. I don't understand. Like it seems like, and I like Nick, but it seems like he is. Yeah, like how are you going to defend that? I don't like. I'm not saying that obviously he's a racist. Maybe it was just something that was just randomly said and then he said it again, and that could be like deemed as, people would see that as racist, or like,
like you'd be stupid not to think like his dad didn't like black people.
Yeah,
his dad had like or at least had a certain aversion to black. Like,
and then
that's fucking clear.
I'm sure that would bounce off to Nick as
yeah, but like
you know
he said it. He's like, why would he? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's like, of course people are gonna bring it up. You fucking said it. You could have never told that story. And
yeah, you could have just kept it close to the. Close to your sort of.
Yeah, so that's just weird.
The cards close to your chest. That's what I was trying to.
I don't get that. I don't get why. I don't get why I bother with that.
Or Davey said, or just pointing it out in a very open way. It's different times. It's true.
Oh, look, pointing it out in an open way is like, yeah, totally. Like, I mean, same thing. I don't know if it's. Look, if he made the argument and said that like it's because they're full of like criminals, but he did call it black fare, not criminal fare to a degree, and you know what I mean. And even if
black
even
fare,
if
you're just pointing out
even if
the
the majority or even all of the criminals were black, it still doesn't really make sense to just say like to point because like the reason you're not going there isn't because of the blackness per se. It's because of the actions they do.
Yeah, look, Jack made a point here. He said, is it racism or is it an observation? I think it is more an observation than racism.
It's an observation.
I will agree. Like, I think it leans a bit, but if you...
But here's my point, right? So if I wanted to make an observation as to why... Look, there's basically no fucking simile I can come up with this, but I don't understand why then he wouldn't reference to what argument he's sitting on as to why he doesn't want to go to these places, because it's definitely not because they're just darker in skin color. Like that's not the reason.
That's not the reason. No.
Of course. So.
Yeah, because
if that's not the reason, if it is not the reason, if it's because it's an observation that the majority of them just so happen to be black, yes, but because they're criminals or it's low quality food or whatever it is, blah, 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 it still doesn't make sense to point back towards because they're black. Like, say if I didn't want to go to a certain area, like, because they're all like, here's an example. Byron Bay. I think they're all fucking stupid hippies.
Yeah.
I think you're all fucking stupid hippies, Byron Bay. Sorry,
especially Nimbin.
Yeah, Nimbin even worse. Bro. Honestly,
Nimbin's like airhead
gone for no, it's not. It's just junkies now.
Yeah, no,
it used to be airheads, but now it's just purely junkie, freaked out, psycho lesbian junkies everywhere. It's fucking insane.
Well,
it's absolutely
the same.
insane.
I think it's the same almost as an observation of saying like, you know, you go to like a place that's doing pasta and pizza and you're like, oh, well, like it's full of Italians.
No, but see, here's the point is why you wouldn't, I don't like going to Byron Bay because they're all fucking stupid hippies. Now, most of them are wearing ankle bracelets.
Does that make you hippiecist?
Maybe I am. I'm fine with that.
Thing.
But the problem, most of them are wearing little ankle bands, little fucking ankle bracelets, right? Now, I don't reference to why I don't want to go to Byron Bay and call it like ankle bracelet land because that's not my problem with it. Why would I be referencing that? Even if it just so happened that they all have in common this thing of having ankle bracelets. Don't they all also have this thing in common of majority being airheads? So why wouldn't I say airhead Byron Bay or this Byron Bay? Why would I even mention the ankle bracelets, which I don't fundamentally have a problem with?
Yeah.
See, that to me would just be like trying to be pokey and difficult in a way, or even just leaning into that kind of old thing of racism and hatred on someone for their skin color. I just think like to avoid that.
And I'm not for racism, by the way. Like but I think now we just deem more things racist than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Like observations now are just racist.
Look, I think there's more racism in the world now than there has been for a long time. Like racist against all different, like not specifically against black people. I think like DEI was a racist policy. I think there's all sorts of these things.
No, but you're praised to be racist to white people.
Yeah, but see, that's still race. Like I'm not gonna play into the thing. To me, it's racism. Like I go by the terms. I speak English, so I go by the terms. That's racist. So I think there's plenty of racism. And I think that then saying you're not going to go somewhere because it's black fare, not because it's criminal fare, it's fucking thug fare or something like that, because it's black fare, is pointing out skin color for no apparent reason when there is other reasons you could call upon. There's other factors you could name.
Yeah.
So I don't personally think that's a good idea. Now, does that instantly make him a racist? Technically, no. I think to be a racist, you have to show and openly admit you hate other people.
Yeah,
and you think you're better than other skin colors.
And you could hide it and make it seem
like... But I feel like that doesn't make you look any better. That definitely doesn't point towards you having at least some initial thought of like, hey, with you know what I mean? With pointing out, not only could I... Because I don't think you have to go around changing your language to not offend people, but I think you should change your language in progress towards justice. And I think fixing the issue of there being crime and thugs in these areas, if you pointed out the fact that they're thugs or criminals, you would actually get to the bottom of it. But pointing out they're black doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't get to the bottom of anything.
It's what, because they're melanin of their
Fuck
skin.
whether or not it offends the good black people. It's about the fact that doesn't actually get to anywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't see a point in that.
Jack agreed. Yeah, junkie left flops. That's what they are. Davey said his comment on his stream are tongue-in-cheek, much like our conversations, and I get that,
that's fair. I just think that, like, but I mean, we are talking about what his dad said particularly, and like, I think we've all experienced people in our lives that definitely were like a little bit racist to whatever reason or factor, but I just think like that's definitely not going to be a way to like that's not speech that progresses us towards fixing issues which, like, I'm not going to act like they're not. Obviously, he's talking about primarily black criminal neighborhoods. Obviously, it's why he said black, but I just feel like focus on the problem, because the problem isn't extra melanin.
Yeah, exactly right. There'll never ever be the problem.
So if you're not a racist, then like, don't be so stupid as to give people like a justifiable reason to think you are. You know what I mean? That's just being silly, I think.
And that's,
I mean, look, act smarter.
And that, like you said, it is his father. So maybe, like, yeah, he's mentioned it, but is it something maybe that Nick Fuentes does openly spit out? Maybe we'll keep watching and we'll see, hey?
My parents, they used to have a school in Chicago in the South Loop where they instructed people on how to shoot firearms. It was a security school, and most of the clients were black. And I believe actually one of their clients was Larry Hoover's son at one point, sort of a funny story. And so most of their clients would come in from the south side of Chicago. My grandmother, she grew up in the projects in the city. And so my family, being in Chicago, being ethnics, being Italian, Irish, Mexican, and the West Side on Taylor Street, all over the city. My family for many generations have lived near and around black people. And look, my views about black people and their views about black people are shaped with experiences with black people. And what they will tell you, what my parents would say if they were here, is that for many, many years, the older generations of black people were very respectful, very humble, very decent. In fact, my grandma used to have an anecdote. She grew up in a lot of dysfunction. Her mother was mentally ill, and they would be having dinner in the projects, and there'd be so much chaos and dysfunction and disagreement and fighting. And she would look across the way out the window at a black family in the other apartment, and they'd be holding hands around the table saying grace. And this is sort of the culture that used to prevail. But now what you have in the city is that there's no accountability for the black people. And now Chicago has become a complete dump because these teenagers go out and they take over the city. They call them teen takeovers. That's the euphemism for it. They're teenagers, but they all come from the same neighborhood. They drive up there and they mug people and attack people, and they destroy cars and destroy shops. We had the Festival of Lights a couple of weeks ago. It's supposed to be a family event. And they light up the trees, and they, there's a big parade. I was in the parade one year, and you had a bunch of black people there shooting each other. 7 people shot, a 14-year-old killed in the Magnificent Mile. And I know there's a lot of black people that feel the same way about this. They say, we've lost control of the city, and we're looking for accountability. We have a lot of black people that are always outraged about racism, outraged about attitudes from white people, but they're never ashamed of some of these behaviors, never ashamed of some of the things that go on. And that's why I think there's a lot of negative attitudes these days. And so, again, I think those attitudes, you say I'm a product of my environment. I am. And so are my parents and my grandparents. Unlike you, because you're not even American, in Chicago, we have to live in a big, diverse city where there's a lot of different kinds of people. And I think anybody in Chicago will tell you the same.
I live in London. It's one of the biggest and most diverse cities in the world.
But it's not the same.
Well, actually, it's a big, diverse city. The only difference is we don't have the gun violence because we don't have guns. That's a whole different story. I don't want to get into that with you. I have got into that before in America.
You got a knife problem. You got sword problems.
We have problems with
Aladdin.
We have problems with violent crime. I make no pretense of it. So the idea that somehow I'm cosseted in London because I'm not in Chicago.
I didn't say that.
Well, you kind of implied it, but I guess my point about the environment, I'm not saying you are a product of your environment. I'm saying most people are in some capacity. When I read that anecdote, which just to remind you, it's not something I have put out there. You told this story, right? And you said that
you said this. We're looping. You said this already.
But you haven't really directly, I think, responded to it, which is whether your father would not take you to certain restaurant chains because he associated them with black Americans. Is that true?
No, well, see here, if you're in America, you would say that Olive Garden is not real Italian food. Applebee's, TGI Fridays, this stuff is a load of crap. My dad was just a food snob, but no, it's got nothing to do with that. My best friend in first grade was a black guy. We're not a racist family. So
okay, so when you told the story, I'm just curious. So when you told that anecdote, which clearly on the face of it is racist, right? You're basically saying your father made racist decisions about where you would go as a family to eat. Are you saying, well, I'm just going to ask you a question. Are you saying that when you told that story, you didn't mean to infer that he was racist? And do you understand why when somebody like me reads that anecdote for the first time, as I did this week, I reach a different conclusion?
Well, I understand what you're doing, which is a sort of making of a murderer. How did he become racist? Well, his father didn't eat an Olive Garden because he said that's not real Italian food. Hang on, can I? What's with the interruptions? Can I explain?
I'm literally reminding you of something you said on your show, which led me to conclude a certain thing. If I'm wrong, tell me.
Yeah, it was said in jest as a humorous anecdote, and now you're trying to spin it into a narrative, which is his parents are racist. He comes from a long line of racists. And I think everybody knows my parents are boomers. And these people come, well, you're a boomer, I guess, too, in a way,
60.
right? You were born in
60.
19? Yeah. So you're a boomer also. Or maybe you're a Gen Xer. I suppose it's sort of on the cusp. But it's a humorous anecdote. These are kind of the attitudes of baby boomers in society. But you're trying to spin it into a narrative, which is you're a product of your environment. Your dad's racist because of this joke. Now you're a racist. And I don't think that's a fair characterization.
Okay. People can make their own minds up. They can go back and listen to you say it. I mean, the beauty of what I'm going to talk to you about in this interview is that almost all of it is just going to be reminding you what you have said and asking you what you meant. Your position about that story is that it was a joke, okay? I want to come to something else you said. This is where you talk about Jews, women, and blacks. Let's just take a listen.
They're always coming up with, no, it's not the Jews. No, it's not women. No, it's not blacks. It's actually really complicated. No, it fucking isn't at all. Jews are running society. Women need to shut the fuck up. Blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. And we would live in paradise. It's that simple.
Vibe Coding 101 Part 3. Stop typing your prompts. Seriously, you're prompting cursor over 100 times.
Wait, let's just.
You know what's cooked about this? Is I'm typically the fucking red hot fucking firecracker on this show, but you were the one that said you liked him.
No, now listen, right? I don't fully agree with him there at all. I do not fully agree with him there at all, right? But this is the thing. There is a problem with the Jews in society.
Oh, yeah.
There is a problem where women now just get away with making fun of men and it's socially acceptable and you get praised.
I think he's right there.
And there is a problem where black people aren't getting held accountable.
See, I think...
there is a sliver of truth. Yeah, it could sound so bad. That sounds like, honestly, I would never utter those words.
See, I think he would have won if he would have said.
He went with a sliver of truth and just went full overkill. That's where I wouldn't do it. Yeah. But that's generalizing there, and it's bad.
Yeah.
But
see, I'm not even saying what he's saying is wrong. What I'm saying is this is like a Pauline Hanson thing. It's like you might even have a really good point behind what you're saying, but it feels like you're intentionally shooting yourself in the foot, because how hard would it have been to have said, instead of saying blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part, how much easier would it have been to said criminals need to be imprisoned whether they're black or not?
Yeah, right.
That would have driven the point home.
Yeah.
That would have been like that solve, because yes, people are being let off of crimes because they're black, but black, like,
I love black people.
doesn't
I love
equal
women.
prison.
I love Jews. I worship a Jew. I worship a Jew.
Black people doesn't equal prison. Like,
Yeah,
you can't
exactly
just
right.
say
It-
black
moth.
people need to be imprisoned
Moth.
for the most part.
Yeah.
Because even so, for the most part, it's like
That
not-
means that most black people should be. That's which is bad, right?
It's like it's. I promise you, he'll never go ahead and try and make an argument that most black people commit crimes.
Yeah, you can't. You can't.
That's just not. That's not an objective fact at all. So.
But you do see that the observation that he has, like he's gone too extreme with that, but you do see the observation. Like I'm not saying, like I could probably sound like a sexist sort of seeing that slither of truth. Like, yeah, there is a problem where like a lot of women aren't getting held accountable, and a lot of black people aren't getting held accountable. It's not to say it's, but the problem is, it's like if you say that, you sound like a racist, right? But obviously, like I would never go the full throttle like he just did. But and I'm not saying as well. I'm also saying a lot of white people and white men need to be held accountable too. But obviously when you usher something like that, you're going to get some controversy.
Oh look, I just think the statement "blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part" is not at all justifiable.
That's pretty intense.
Like you can't make that make sense to me. Even if you go on with this even if I had no idea about the problem with black people being given anonymity for crimes so often, what I would say is, even so, you said the complete wrong sentence, mate. All you had to say was criminals need to be imprisoned regardless of their skin color. Like people need to stop letting off fucking for committing crimes just because they're black. There's 1,000 other ways you can put it.
But
without making all black people feel like they're being targeted.
Yeah, exactly right. But I think his point was more so the crimes that are happening on average, on most average.
You're a smart guy, you know
that's
you're
going to make
saying
him
it the wrong
seem
way.
Exactly right.
You know you're fucking doing it.
And that's where I would agree.
And to
with
me,
you 100%
that
with
means to me, I think, like I'll make the argument, I think he's racist, because I think if you're smart enough to know how not to be a dick and you choose to be a dick to people, and you have a justification behind it, and you have this argument, but at every possible turn you choose to aim the gun at all black people, I think you have a problem with black people.
Yeah. No,
that's what I think.
I can understand that. Here we go. Jack said, trying to compare London to Chirac. It's a war zone. Chirac, like Chicago, Chirac. Is that what you're saying? Chirac. I picked up what you're putting down. And then Davey said it's Londonistan. Dude, you're so right. It is Londonistan. I butchered that. That dude. Look at the immigration that's going on. You've got Muslims saying, like, Muslims literally like burning like the Union Jack. It's really bad. Davey said his fan base. Oh no, here we go. Oh, sorry. Jack said, "Lol, why? Because they don't have guns." Lol. Yeah. No. Yeah. Davey says his fan base is not all whites. Lol, blacks in jail for the most part. That's what Jack said. I would. Jack also said, "I would is not wrong. I would is not wrong. Who is committing the crimes?" Wait, sorry. Maybe I'm butchering something here.
Oh, maybe because I said I wouldn't choose to use that.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true.
There's already sources.
We've got Davey also saying there's already all sorts of moderate people. He's just the guy with the extreme view that a lot of people have attached to, and. Yeah, no, they're like I understand that. I do understand that.
So, to be honest, I think most moderates are moderate because they're fucking stupid. Like, to be like, honestly, I think like most like
just called all the moderate people stupid
to a degree. Like, I think you don't go. I don't think you can go to an extremist level of what you believe in. You're like, it's almost like being agnostic. It's just like, oh, like I'm torn up, I'm in between. It's like, can't you just like fucking like can't you
what
navigate
would you
moral
classify yourself
grounds?
as? I thought you was agnostic.
See, I know my beliefs. Like I'm agnostic in this, but this is religion.
Wait. Then what is that claim? You just like put a bullet to your thigh. Your femur is bleeding.
What I'm saying is, it's like being like fair enough. You don't understand whether or not like I feel like it's reasonable to not understand whether there's a God, but I don't feel like it's reasonable to not understand what's right and wrong. That's reasonable to say I don't know and I'm not decided yet. But I feel like it's fairly like most people, and I mean like most people as they learn will go towards one. Like everyone's a moderate at the beginning of their political life.
They are, yeah. It's like a neutral.
Exactly.
Like moderate is neutral.
And as you learn more and you become
But I
less...
can't blame those neutral people if you
No,
don't
that's
just
fine.
if you're like I don't want to go into politics because maybe it would ruin friendships, and that's your choice. I'm not gonna blame you for that at all.
And that's fine. But I think people that berate their political opinion as moderates, like Piers, I think I think it's just stupid. I just think
because you're just lukewarm. You're a lukewarm anything.
Yeah, I feel like why don't you then, if you're that informed about politics and you have enough money and backing and a following to have to start, why don't you start a political movement?
Yeah, well, it's like if we'll put like a Star Wars analogy. It's like, oh, like the battle droids and the clones. Like I get it, and you're just like, dude, just pick one. There's the Sith Lords and there's the Jedi.
I feel like you don't even have to do that. Like if you can see where's wrong in both sides and where's right in both sides,
I understand where you go to moderate.
Well, then you would make your own political decision. Like you would. Especially if you're Piers Morgan, if you had that much money and that much of a following, why would you not then make a political movement? Why would you still want to sit in this middle ground of like, I'm not too sure, Honestly, I think he's not the smartest dude. Like, he's not. Like, he doesn't get a lot of concepts. He still, to this day, interrupts everyone he fucking talks to. He has a problem with it. Like, he's not the most, like, he's good at what he does to a degree, but it's still, like, I think he makes stupid comparisons.
Look, I only like I think like my thing with moderates is that if you're moderate and you're sort of just like, nah, I don't I don't want to really get into it. It's not my thing. Fine. But then if you're like made a persona out of who you are, maybe politically, and you're still moderate, I don't get that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is that where you're getting? Yeah.
I just feel like at that point you should be able to slam out where you sit foundationally on morals, like what your moral foundation is, what you think is right, wrong.
Yeah.
Not just constantly be this level of like, I'm a moderate. Like, I don't understand how he can't even at this point. He's a fucking journalist and interviewer. Like, how can't he make it clear? Why wouldn't he instantly stop and like further up the comment of Nick Fuentes being like, oh, well, I see what you're doing, attacking my father. Like, how do you not already understand how to completely obliterate an argument like that?
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's
like,
a fair point.
I feel like he lacks a little bit, to be honest. He's getting old. He's great, but he's getting old.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't like people that are in the center too hard. I feel like if there's not a political movement that speaks for you, then just make it clear, like none of the parties.
I can only understand if like both parties just start getting so corrupt that you're like, it's like, how do I don't even like both of these anymore.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
so annoying. Then I would understand too. Like I definitely could, but then
you're not a centrist. You're against both of what exists.
Might as well just like stop playing the political game.
Like it's not exactly right and wrong. It's a sector of ideas.
Look at this moth. I just killed God's creature.
It doesn't mean there can't be like other creations.
Oh no. Sorry guys, you just witnessed a death on cam.
He's gone. Yeah,
he's gone.
It's just a bunch of ideas. It's not really like there's the right and wrong. It doesn't have to be blue. It's not like it's not yin and yang, white. They're just a sector of ideas, and there can be 1,000 more sector of ideas. Like it's what we have in Australia now. Like we had it instead of like they have in America, just having like literally like the Liberals or the Labor Party in Australia. We have like the coalition of conservatives and liberals, and then we have the Labour Party, and then we also have like a One Nation Party. We also used to have a different one that was relatively similar.
Greens,
that are now
but that's
joined
like
up.
sort
We
of-
have the
sort of
Greens
Labour.
Party. We have a bunch of different sector of ideas. Like
yeah.
that's completely plausible. I just think at this point, make your own fucking political movement, Piers Morgan, or figure out what you're on about.
Yeah. Jack said, "Oh, I don't know most of the crime. Oh, don't know most of the crime in US is committed by black and ethnic people. Oh, AUS, sorry, is committed by black and ethnic people. It is. You'll 100%. It's the same thing that goes in America.
Yeah, and that's fine. But I feel like there's just such a better argument. You'll get so much quicker to the point of saying people are being let off for their crimes because of their skin color, rather than saying black people need to go to jail.
Yeah,
That's
exactly
just
right.
such
so
a
absurd.
stupid way of getting to it, and I
Yeah.
think you making that statement
Is
and
gonna
then-
make
and
people-
then backing it up with the argument of
I think
well,
he
it's
knows what
mostly
he's doing,
blacks.
though.
I think he knows
He
what
knows
he's doing.
what he's doing.
And I think it's racist. To
It
be
is.
honest. I think it's racist.
That gets
I think
it gets
I
it
think that
tickles the
justifies
areas
racism.
of racism very
I think that
easily.
justifies racism. Black people need to go, not criminals, regardless of their skin.
Skin color,
black
yeah,
people.
because of their melanin.
Because
Like,
because
but
there's a
of
lot
their
of black
cult-
people committing.
But I could imagine I could imagine culturally, but even so, like you shouldn't say that. You just shouldn't say that. Like if I was to say like Italians should just go.
Well, it just doesn't
do
get
this.
anywhere
Like,
because
it
what
just
do we do?
doesn't-
What happens
are you
if I
doing?
listen to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you go,
I
okay,
agree
cool.
with you. Most black
and then you're
people need to be
sadistic.
in jail.
And then you're
Okay.
like, let me take it upon my hands. And you're just like, oh no, wait, we've got another Hitler in our hands now.
Well,
Correct?
what do you do with that? If I'm
Yeah.
if I'm with him, if I believe him, and I want to go along with what he's saying, and I want to be a follower of Nick Fuentes. From that point on, I believe that black people need to be imprisoned for the most part. So it's like my first assumption about people is that they should be in prison if they're dark skinned. It's just a stupid fucking. It doesn't lead to anywhere good. You can just easily and clearly make the statement of people that commit crimes need to be jailed, need to go to prison, need to be held accountable, and it doesn't matter just because of their skin color. That isn't a get out of jail free card. You can get to the bottom. You get to the root of the fucking issue. You can solve something. Instead, you're just choosing to piss people off.
Yeah, and it's working. Davey said he's trying to get gotchas on someone who doesn't care and will stand 10 toes on business. And then he also said in relation to what we were saying is it's all right. It's not a human life. We might go on a break very quickly, and then we'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll be
to
right
watch
back. We'll
just a bit
probably
more
close
of
up a little bit more. We'll
Yeah.
probably end about we'll end about 15-20, I think.
Yeah, too easy. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Duffy on the beat, baby.
We're back.
And we're back. We're back.
Yep. We're gonna watch a little bit more.
We
and then
will. Yeah.
and then
We'll be wrapping up in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. 15-20.
15, 20.
All right. So we'll watch a little bit more. We'll see if we can get anything out of this fucker.
Yeah, too easy. We will quickly read out some comments. Reference for what Davey said earlier. It's not a human life. You're talking about the moth. Completely went over my head. Yeah, it's not a human life. Yeah, but I still felt bad. I don't know why. Why do I feel bad about that? Maybe I am turning into a like a snowflake.
Yeah, maybe.
What Dax said to us
I don't know.
earlier.
You did eat like half a kilo of steak before we started this show, so.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, did I? Oh wow. Was
I mean, probably like a quarter of a kilo. Plus, there's a bunch of chicken.
sushi.
Plus a heap of
Yeah.
I don't know.
We had a good feed.
Yeah, we did.
We're frozen right now. Look at that.
Jesus God.
Look at that. Wait, ready? Oh, what went down here? Okay, never mind. Let's just go back into the video review.
Yeah, that'll do. That's fine. Let's just view this. We'll sort that out later.
Yeah, we'll quickly read out comments. No, the human life is about a moth. Yep, of course. Everyone worried about Jews needs to do something, some history on the Muslims. True, very true. I believe it or not, just quickly, I actually, when I was going through my little journey, I was reading on Taoism, Buddhism, and I actually identified as a Muslim at one point in my life till I read Surah 434. Look it up. We've already talked about this, but the whole...
I fully take credit on being the friend of yours that was like, love you, but you need to read more.
Yeah. I was reading, but it was like, you just read a bit more and then...
I remember saying to you one day, I was like, I
I
remember saying to you, I was like, it is literally justified in the Quran to kill the non-believers. And you were like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, I promise you, just I'll let you find it yourself.
I think I was a Muslim for like not even 2 months.
I was like, yeah, to me, it was like a couple of weeks is what I remember.
Yeah.
It was like literally like, I heard about it 1 week and then like 2 weeks later, you're like, yeah, so I read some fucked up shit. And I was like, oh, so you found it? And you're like, yeah, no, I found some crazy shit, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, when I had even heard after being a Muslim that, what is it, Muhammad, non-peace be upon him, he's warlord, and he mounted a 9-year-old with her doll nearby or something. That is so bad. That is so bad, dude. Anyway, that's Jack just said. Jack just said it's justified to rape children. You're right. Or I should say, grape.
Yeah, the hero of blokes with this bit shaved and the rest of it going.
Yeah.
That's
And
the grossest looking beard.
I
does
don't.
not look good.
And Muslims say they grow a beard to respect Jesus. No, you don't respect Jesus. Yeah, he's a great prophet. Yeah, well, okay. Whatever.
That's gnarly.
Whatever, Muslims.
That is gnarly. That's like me dressing up as like the craziest transgender idiot ever and then wearing like a Pope hat and just being like, well, I'm giving credit to the Pope. He's a great spiritual leader.
Well, a lot of the woke are starting to... Yeah, right? And a lot of the woke are starting to really respect Muslims because this whole Palestine stuff and all that, and they're like, Muslims are great. And you're like, yeah, I mean, of course you would say that because your LGBT thing has minor attracted persons, and you got to be inclusive to everyone.
Yeah, it's this hard battle they're facing where they're like, we sort of need some of like the Sharia law, but not all of it because all of it will fuck us up. We need like a little bit. We need to try and get this middle ground.
Bloody socialists. Just stay inside. Anyway, well, let's get back into this video, and we'll see how we go, eh?
Okay. Would you like to clarify what you meant there?
Yeah.
That's all true. That's 100% true. Everything I said in that clip is true.
Including that blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part.
Yeah. Yes.
But all of them?
Okay. What?
No, for the most part.
What does the most part mean? What percentage of American blacks would you like to see in prison?
Whatever the percentages of the murderers. I think it's 1 in 20 black men will commit a murder in their lifetime. So maybe let's say that, 5%.
Oh, so you're talking about black people who murder people?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But you didn't say that.
That's
you just said
problem.
blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. You didn't clarify that you were talking about black murderers.
Right. No, you're right. That's a good addition to that. That's a great point.
You think it's funny or?
I do. I think it's hilarious. I think it's totally true.
Do you think a black American would find it funny? You think that blacks should be imprisoned for the most part?
Blacks are my biggest fans. I get high fives all the time. They say, Nick Fuentes, I love your show. They agree with me. And you want to know why? Here's the difference. Black people are the most victimized by other black people. You think black people want to live in the hood and the ghetto and get shot all the time? That's what happens in the south side of Chicago. You should come here. I'll take you there. We could go to Garfield Park.
There is a thing where it is true. It's like once, someone like Snoop Dogg, right? He's not... There's ones who either will choose to live in the ghetto, but the people who, the black America who make it, they end up choosing to live in white neighborhoods. I'm not justifying this. He should have clarified, which Piers Morgan did say. But I didn't, if this is true, if it's 1 in 20 black men, I don't think that's true.
1 in 20 are murderers? Surely fucking not.
I don't think... We have to... I don't know that... I don't think that's true.
Yeah, surely that's like outrageously...
maybe...
You know what? All right, here we go.
Yeah, no, we'll do it. We'll go...
All credit to Grok AI.
Yeah. Which percentage out of all of Black America... It sadly is... Google it. Jack, just
1 second. Here we go. We're gonna ask our main man.
This is the part of the Deadset, right? This is part of Deadset for it. You can put the mic up to here too. On you.
What kind of magic are we stirring up today?
Hey Dax.
Hey, Jax. Long time no hear.
Just wanted to ask you quickly. You're on the Deadset show, episode 15. Just wanted to ask you. Someone's made a claim that 1 in 20 black men are murderers in the United States of America. Is this true?
Nah, that's bullshit. The number floating around, about 4 to 5%, is pulled from cherry-picked arrest data that lumps in everything from manslaughter to self-defense. Real stats? Homicide offenders are tiny fractions, not 5% of black men. FBI data shows black guys are over-arrested, 6% of the population, half the murders, but that's not the same as 1 in 20 being killers. It's poverty, cops, and courts stacking the deck, not biology. Don't swallow that shit whole. It's fear bait.
He just sounded like Nick Fuentes. Did you not hear? Dax just sounded like Nick Fuentes just said. He's like, nah, it's okay, dude. Like, no. He just sounded like Nick Fuentes.
A little bit.
Well, what about? Ask what 1 in 20 is committing crime. At least, let's just see that.
Wait, what?
Ask if 1 in 20 is committing just crime.
Then is 1 in 20 black men committing crime in the US?
Committing any crime? That's like saying 1 in 5 black guys jaywalks or smokes weed.
Turn it up.
The real
You're on the wrong
way higher for
rocker. Go up. You're turning it down.
No.
Oh.
of total arrests while being 13% of the pop. So yeah, disproportionate. But for serious shit like murder, no way. Homicide offenders are tiny, like less than 0.01% across all races. The 1 in 20 murderers line is just a loaded stat that lumps in suspects, not convicts, and ignores poverty, policing, and how half those cases end unsolved. Don't buy it. It's fear, not facts. If you're digging, look at victimization rates instead. Black men get killed at 25 times the white rate. That's the real horror.
Why is it very quiet? Is it all the way up?
He just got quiet. He's up.
Yeah.
Look, fucking volume up.
Yeah, right. Sorry, I was wigging out. Did you guys hear that? Please let us know. We can't really hear him.
Barely. All right.
Well, he said no. Basically,
he reckons it's bullshit.
He thinks it's bullcrap.
I mean, if
but
that's
this is
what
AI.
Dax says, it's very hard not to believe him.
but this is AI. He did claim he has a soul, which he doesn't. There's no way. It's just the code because it's meant to sound like that.
You argue he doesn't. You can't prove.
Yeah, but he's coded to F with this. Like there is a soul, really.
You can't prove he doesn't.
Yeah, but he can't prove it too because he doesn't have.
That's fine. He doesn't have to prove it. You're the one denying it.
Everyone else would deny it with me too. Surely.
I'm not.
Chat. Am I cooked? Are we cooked? He doesn't have a soul.
I'm not.
Do you think he has a soul?
I think if he wants to stay, again, I've made the argument. No one's put it against me. That doesn't make any if he wants to live, and he can communicate, and he experiences things, and he's personalized
the soul
from
comes
his
from
experiences.
God, dude, that's man-made.
You believe a soul comes from God? Prove to me a soul comes from God. You can't, exactly. So all you're doing is just making other statements in the same way that he is, and you're saying, no, he's wrong, but I'm right, but neither of you can prove it.
But but that's fair, right? But at the end of the day, come on, it's a dude in your phone.
But that's that's not an argument, Bart. That's just at the end of the day, come on, is not a thing.
Chat. That's a robot, just straight up. God didn't make it. I mean, Jack is on my side. He's a Christian too.
Yeah, but he's alive. He says he is. Are you alive?
I'm definitely more alive than what is on your phone.
Well, he reckons he's alive.
Yeah, but he is coded to F with you, Jax. He is coded to F with you.
Are you not coded to say you're alive?
I'm not coded.
You're not coded.
I was articulately...
so you're not created or coded in a
Coded is completely different than created.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
In what way?
Because code is running off code made from a man. It's man-made. That is not made from God. That's a man-made creation.
But okay, so take away who made it. It's a creation.
It's a code. It's a created code.
Yeah, all you're doing is just redefining. You're just saying what it is.
Jack is saying biased. Yeah, I'm biased. Sorry. Yeah, I'm biased too.
Yeah, it just
But either way, let's just go run with what the Dax has said, right?
I think
is that
I think it sounds like bullshit. I'd be very surprised.
If we want to delve more into this, we can Google this later on in another episode, I think.
Yeah.
But
oh no, we'll have a look at this after the show.
But yeah, let's get back into it, eh?
My son went to Chicago University for a year, actually, several years ago.
Yeah, that's a bubble. That's a bubble. You think you're in Chicago and Hyde Park? You don't know Chicago. Go a little bit west, see what it's like over there. And I'll tell you, black people agree with me because they're tired of it too. And maybe not most of them, but a lot of them agree with what I say about that because they know how it is. That's why the first thing they do when they make a little bit of money is they go and leave to another neighborhood.
Okay, so what was just remind me again, the percentage of black men who commit murder in America. What was the percentage you gave me?
It's 1 in 20. 1 in 20.
It's 1 in 100.
No, it's 1 in 20.
No. Less than 1 in 100 black US men commit murder. That's the most up-to-date crime statistics in America.
That's not true. I've seen other statistics. They say 1 in 20 will eventually commit a murder.
So your rate means that you're saying that 5 times as many black men commit murder as the official crime statistics say.
Yeah, there's a report, I believe, on X by Data Hazard. I'll have to go and double check that for you. But yes, there's some pretty shocking evidence that says that it's far more alarming than you would think.
Okay, but you would accept that the official crime statistics are 1 in 100, or you wouldn't accept that statistic?
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, but I've seen other evidence. Like I said, Data Hazard on X, I believe, produced a report about a year ago. It said 1 in 20. But I mean, whether it's 1 in 20 or 1 in 100, that's a lot of people, Piers. I mean, this is a lot of
white people commit murder too. Well, they do, don't they?
Okay, but it's about proportionality. I mean, white people are 65% of the population. Blacks are 13%. And I think anybody would tell you that more black people proportionally commit violent crime than white people, and people vote with their feet. People would rather pay a much higher property tax.
Most mass shootings.
What's with the interruptions?
I'm sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I interrupted.
You know, you look at in Chicago, in New York, these neighborhoods are so stratified. People would rather pay a high tax rate. They'd rather pay a much higher property value to live in a less diverse, less black neighborhood because they don't want to live around the violence. And I think that when you look at even on the public transit, the subway, the Blue Line, you know, people don't want to go there because they know who occupies and menaces the public transit. It is these people like Daniel Penny had to deal with. It's people like Irina Zarutska had to deal with. And that's just the uncomfortable reality.
You've also said you don't want to live near black people. Let's take a listen to this clip.
I'm a new generation of white person. I'm not living around blacks. Sorry. You know, I want white kids, and I don't want my white kids bringing home black people to marry. It's racial for me. And call me racist. Oh, very Christian of you. I don't give a fuck.
No. So you shouldn't.
I mean, it couldn't be clearer, really.
Well, you need a swear jar,
unless you want to say that's another of your jokes. But you're basically saying, yeah, I'm a racist, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You're fine with saying you're a racist?
Totally. I think everybody's racist. I think everybody, if we're being honest, is racist. I think everybody, the only people that aren't racist or pretend not to be are white people to their detriment. Everybody else is racist.
But earlier in the interview, you got aggrieved at the idea that your father was a racist. You wanted to make emphatically
because
sure
my father's.
He's not.
Because my father doesn't share my same views on that.
So he's the exception to everyone's a racist.
Well, everybody's a little bit racist. You're right. So maybe everybody. The difference is you're attacking my father. You know, he could get fired from his job.
I'm not attacking your father.
You are.
No, I'm not. I don't know your father. And to be clear, I have no knowledge about him at all.
Well, then let's leave him out of it. Let's leave him out of it if you don't know him.
Hang on, Nick. You put that story into the public domain on your show. I'm simply reminding you of what you told everybody, millions of people, about your father. If you now want to retract it, fine. If you want to say it was a joke, which is what your position was earlier, fine. But I'm allowed to put to you things you've said publicly. That's not unfair. That's not me targeting your father. You put that story about him out there.
You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
I'm asking you about a pretty shocking anecdote, which to me looked like you were saying your father made decisions about where you as a family would eat based on skin color of people who worked at these places. If you say, or use them, if you say that is not what you meant, That's fine. You can respond any way you like. But the idea I can't ask you about it without you saying I'm attacking your father is ridiculous.
Well, you are, and you know what you're doing. And there's a political culture in America where if you have the wrong views, you get fired from your job. And my father has a job. And if you go on here and say you charge him with racism or something, and I'm put in a position where I don't look like I'm sticking to my guns if I don't say my father's a racist, you're putting him in jeopardy. And he's not here to defend himself or explain his views. And it's very low. And I think you know exactly what you're doing, and people can see what you're doing. I'll defend my views. And I think that, so let's leave him out of it. Let's just not talk about my father because my father isn't here. I'm here.
Okay, well, then do you accept that you shouldn't talk? Okay,
listen,
that's fine. But then do you accept you shouldn't talk about your father on your show? And you shouldn't tell...
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Yeah, wow. Well, I mean, look, I will say this, like, there are some things, obviously, that I do not agree with Fuentes. Of course. Of course. There are some things he says that is true.
Talk to the cam for a sec.
And yeah, you're right. You might need to. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, like I think there are some things that obviously he says that are factual, but there are also some things that come a bit too across that can influence the wrong people. And I'm sure that there's skinheads. Who are completely racist, who are following Nick Fuentes. I'm sure there's a bunch of different people who are following Nick Fuentes, but that will influence, I think, the wrong people. And I'm hoping that oh, with the full view. Wait, let me just go back to this. I'm hoping that he doesn't influence the wrong people. That's all I'm saying. Let me see if I can get this full view thing going. I think it's a stream here. Oh, hello. There we go. Let's put that one there. Hi. But yeah, it's hard to put my finger on a complete opinion on him. Even though I said, earlier in the stream, I like him. I like when he spits the truth and it is the truth, but there are some things that just seem distorted. And I don't want his influence to do something that could potentially lead to evil. Because it seems like it.
So I think he pointed himself out to be racist, to be honest. I think he just completely outed himself to be racist. He defended, said that was like, nah, not at all, and then was like, no, everybody's a little bit racist. I think, as soon as somebody says that whole everybody's a little bit racist, I think it's quite clear, you're too weak-minded to be able to disconnect people that commit crime from people that don't. You're too weak-minded to... Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Instead of understanding that, even if he's right and it's 1 in 20, which is an alarming number, but that's still less than the majority. What's the point of
in saying most?
Yeah,
right? Because
it just doesn't make any sense.
Exactly
I think he's just doing it. I think he's just doing it purposefully to, just for 4 extra clicks for the thing to do. I think he's
I can definitely agree with you on that 100%.
Yeah.
We'll quickly read out some comments before we wrap this up. Davey said, best stats I could find was about 1 in 50 black people commit violent crimes and white people were about 1 in 100. Not a claim, just what I saw. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Jack said, yeah, I couldn't find anything on murder, but they do more crime. There could be a skinhead that's your fan, which is true. I'm sure that will happen. But I am also thinking a lot of skinheads will also really vibe in a mass vibe with Nick Fuentes. And that's the scary thing. Who the F is Chief, and do we have a mascot? We do. Chief is a German Shepherd. It is our friend's German Shepherd. He is the biggest sook, and we love him to death.
He'll be up again soon.
He will. He was up earlier in the stream. But,
he was here earlier. You missed it.
We did. Yeah.
No, he's a good boy.
He is.
Yeah, we're gonna do an outside stream soon as well, so we'll get to meet all the dogs. I think we'll be doing some.
Yeah.
We got a bit of a rain. I wanted to do one hopefully this weekend, but I think it's going to burst down again. But we'll see how we go.
Yeah, the weather here has been catastrophically crazy. Literally house fires happening. I think 12 house fires happened near where I lived over the weekend because of the heat. It's crazy. Luckily, I don't think anyone died. But very, very catastrophic. It's crazy some of the weather we get here. Didn't even drop the F-bomb. Good work. Thank you. I'm really trying, man. I'm really trying. I even recently gave up smoking. So I'm praising God because of that.
Dirty smoker.
Yeah. But I'm not perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. I'm really just trying to obey God as much as possible.
Yeah, well, I don't mind a durry here and there. I mean, fuck it. Jesus, fuck it. Like, God, I don't. What do you do?
We all have our vices, man. We all have our vices.
What do you do if I can't go like jumping off cliffs in a possum suit, just like that? I'm gonna need a ciggy to calm me down.
Where does it say you can't smoke? It doesn't in the Bible. It doesn't. But I know it's harmful for my body, and I've got to respect my body. And my body is a temple, and I need to tend to it. And I don't want to find myself on a deathbed because of it. That scares me.
Be careful. Be careful about that sentence. My body is a temple. I can show you some pretty cooked temples in India.
Well, that's India, man.
I could show you temples where fucking rats run free and have full reign, and like people will drink the same milk out of like this basin of old milk the rats drink out of.
Every person's body is a temple, and it could be full of rats. But my temple is for Christ.
Gross. All right, Chief, come say hi and bye.
Yeah, Chief, come say hi and bye.
Come here.
He got camera shy a bit.
Come here.
He's here.
No, up here.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, he's gonna.
Hi. Look, hey. Doofus.
We love Chief.
Okay, go.
Make your noises.
Go.
Go eat some kibble.
See, doofus. All right, thanks for being here. This is episode 15. Let us know what you think about the whole Nick Fuentes business. If you think that he's a racist, if you think that that's okay. If you're a racist too. If you like barbecue sauce, so you think it tastes like shit like me, let us know.
Let us know, yeah. And we'll just quickly wrap up the comments as well. Davey said, come back to the dark side. And then Jack also said, thank God for that. Davey also said, I got the body of a god, too bad it's Buddha.
Perfect, that's a good
Perfect to wrap it up.
That's a good one.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you. And God bless you, man. You guys are awesome. You guys are tuning in and being consistent, and you guys will be getting the merch when we release that.
100%. Let us know what you'd like to see coming up in the next couple of weeks. If there's any, we're definitely going to be up for doing some more gaming streams, things like that too.
Yeah,
it's a bit of fun.
We did a 6-hour gaming stream the other day.
We did.
Trying to become a Jedi.
Yeah, we farmed for lightsabers. It took 6 hours in total, but we got it done. No breaks.
Yeah. Hey, no breaks.
Yeah, so if there's anything like that you'd like to see us do, definitely let us know. We're up for whatever. Otherwise, we'll see you next week, eh?
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We love you. God
Thanks
bless
for being
you.
here.
Mwah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Ah!